All right, guys, let's take a look at our week 1 standings, I guess. And beat me because Derrick Henry and James Cook brought me all the way back. And then Derrick Henry fumbled it away. But for some reason, it's showing that I'm down by 2.16. So even without that fumble, it looks like I would have lost. So there's that. Freaking Ivan had a shitty week with low performances from his RB1 and 2, and the cherry on top was Xavier Worthy and George Kittle getting injured, but at least Kittle got some points before the injury, but not much of a contest in this one. Pierce had a good week 1, it looks like. Everybody putting up points minus Kenneth Walker. Great performance out of freaking defense and kicker. My God, Pierce. Kyle barely pulled it out against Tito. He won't be starting Brock Purdy this week. I wonder what he's going to do with that. Good performances all around. Tyron Tracy sucks, so I'm wondering what he's going to do about that. And probably not Ford. Ramondre, could have a good week too, so we'll see. Josh Allen carried the frick out of Tito. And Christian McCaffrey, damn, that's a lethal duo. Checo stunk. AJ Brown stunk. Oh my freaking stink. Roma Dunze did something. Baltimore was -2. That hurts. That'll result in a loss. Carter, of course, freaking winning in week 1. My favorite. Of course, Carter is just destined for the playoffs, even though he doesn't have running backs. Javonte Williams surely doesn't get 20 points again. Tony Pollard had a pretty shitty game, so I guess it evens out. Nico Collins won't be that bad again. Brian Thomas. Oh, yeah, it's Malik Neighbors. He probably won't be that bad either. Brian Thomas Jr. on the other side. Stinky. Tough loss for Hayden in a close game. But for putting up 98, you probably don't deserve to win anyway. Evan, of course. Freaking. What do I know about ETN? Nothing. Evan's whole team popped besides Ingram. Haha, at least I got that right. I think he's injured now, too. Cam Little or whatever, 15 points. Jesus Christ. Baker Mayfield on the opposite side. Strong performance by Chris, but matchup did not allow the W. That's the tough thing about the league is I scored the 4th most points in the league, but I still lost. It was 4th or 5th, but I still lost, so now I'm in 7th place. Ease what it is. Carson beats Guiley. Guiley had the shitter of a week. That's what happens when Chase goes for 4.6 and Bo Nix does nothing. Ferguson might be a little touchdown dependent. Tough to say. He never gets in the end zone. Pickens didn't do well. Tyreek Hill, I wonder if Carson's regretting that as his first wide receiver off the board. Yikes, I would be. That's last weekend's recap. Let's move on to this week. All right, so we got Carter 1-0, Kyle 1-0, Pierce 1-0, Hayden, never mind, Anna 1-0, and Carson and Evan 1-0. The rest of the league 0-1. This is a big matchup. Carson versus Evan on the bottom here, 1-0 versus 1-0. Whoever gets 2-0 has a pretty big advantage moving forward. Over here, Chris versus Guiley. You do not want to be the team that drops to 0-2. Another big game, Kyle and Pierce. And Tito and Ivan. Pretty big game there as well. Let's pick who I think is going to take this one. Let's go to matchups for week 2. Me versus Carter. He takes the cake in the Lamar Jackson category. I dominate him in running backs. And it would look like dominates me and wide receivers, but depending on the week, Malik Neighbors or Collins could have 5 points. Judy and Williams could have 20. Never know. Like to think I have the tight end upper hand, and defense and kicker negligible. Who cares about that? Tito versus Ivan. Ooh, the Danny Dimes start. I did not see that coming. They are against Denver, so I could stifle some of his points, but Josh Allen is a clear advantage. McCaffrey is an advantage, but Gibbs will neutralize that. Genti takes over Pacheco. McLaurin only dropped 9.8. Not a bad floor, I guess, but 2 weeks in a row for Terry being kind of shit. Not what you want to see. I'm liking the wide receivers over here. T. Higgins for a bounce back week, and I think McMillan should dominate the Cardinals. Chigakonkwo, man, I like that guy. He plays RuneScape. Do I think he'll have a great fantasy day? I have no idea. He's quite the athlete, but fuck if I know if he's going to get in the end zone or not. TJ Hawkinson's, hopefully he bounces back. Roman Dunze, I don't expect too much from. Ricky Pearsall, I do like this play with Mac Jones. Could be a good week for Ivan. Let's look at Kyle versus Pierce's matchup. Let's check out Stroud versus Murray. All right, that's enough checking that out. I don't expect shit from either of them. Well, I guess that's not true. Kyler Murray is playing Carolina, so yeah, I'll take Kyler Murray over Stroud in this, especially because Stroud's in prime time. That could add to some of the pressure. Achane, Kamara, both great plays. Aaron Jones, I think, will do better than Kenneth Walker. Jefferson and Nakua, pretty much similar. Ooh, this is interesting. We got Puka here on the right side, and then we got Devontae on the left. So we'll see how much of a difference that makes for whoever might snag the touchdown. Could play a big role. Ooh, our first 2 tight ends off the board are matching up. Oh, God. Get Tyron Tracy out of here. If I had to take a team here, I would probably... I want to say Kyle because I get this Aaron Jones over Kenneth Walker advantage, but I'm going to go with Pierce. I think quarterback has a better matchup, and I love Puka and Kamara and Bowers. I think that's a pretty lethal combo. Let's keep her moving. Hayden and Hannah. Hayden did not do very good last week, but he's got a strong start with Josh Jacobs. Mahomes, no way he does as good as he did last week. I think he had 26 fantasy points. Yeah, I doubt he'll replicate that against Philly. Jalen Hurts should have a touchdown on the ground, and you'll be happy with him no matter what. JT, hopefully he's healthy. I know he got dinged up and left with a neck injury last week, so that's not good. Breece Hall surprised me last week. 17 points. Did not see that coming. He didn't even get a touchdown, so Breece Hall could be much better than we were anticipating this year. He was a player I was not interested in drafting. On the flip, Travion Henderson, only 5 carries, but 6 for 6 on targets. That's what you like to see. Wonder how much more involved he'll be this week, considering 35 snap percentage is not very good, but maybe they're just trying to slowly work him into it. He is a rookie, so I like CD in this matchup. CD's already off to a strong start this year, where Brian Thomas kind of did nothing last week, but you know, they could both get 30 on any given night. This is a good wide receiver 2 matchup as well, because Mike Evans and Harrison were drafted like right next to each other, so I view that as pretty equal. Kelsey should dominate Andrews, but see, he only got 4 targets last week, which was kind of odd. Montgomery, I'm expecting to bounce back this week, and Jacoby Myers had a really good week 1. I don't think he'll have 18 points again, but it is in the range of outcomes for sure. I would have to lean towards Anna in this matchup. You got a lot of strong players. Hurts, CeeDee Lamb. You know, I guess Jonathan Taylor as well. Those are all people you can pencil in for a good game. Let's move down to the lowest scorer of the week. Guiley starting Justin Fields this week. He's changing it up. Not sure he started last week. Take a look. I don't know. Doesn't look like it. Maybe we can. Oh, yep. Bo Nix. There he is. Justin Fields against Buffalo. Could be a trap game for starting Fields, but Buffalo's defense gave up hella yards last week to the Baltimore offense, so Fields could be a very solid play. Bucky Irving, James Conner, Chase McConkey, love all these players. Flowers should regress this week, but he should be that 10 plus point on every week kind of player. Let's check out the Amon-Ra Doggers. My brother Christian, he's got Mayfield. Hampton will do better this week. Hubbard's a great weekly start. Amon-Ra is a great weekly start, even though he shit last week. That's just kind of what happens when the Lions run into the Packers. Okay. I'm a cheesehead, y'all niggas cheese with. Debo Samuel popped off. Happy to see that for him. 44 yards is fucking hilarious on 7 catches, but anyway. Zach Ertz also popped off for him. Probably a top 5 tight end play on the week. 18.4 from Zach Ertz. You got to be thrilled with that. And we'll see if Drake London plays. I know he's nicked up with a shoulder injury, I believe. This is a tough matchup to predict. I love Guiley's team. I think he just scored so few points last week because he had guys like Fields and Zay Flowers on his bench. So this is an equal matchup. I think I'm leaning slightly toward Guiley, but kind of depends on if Omarion Hampton and yeah, I mean mostly Omarion Hampton. Can he step up? Chris already has 35 points between 2 Washington players, so that's really good. Key factor on Guiley's side, I think, is Jake Ferguson. Can Jake Ferguson get in the end zone, and can Omarion Hampton do something more? So that's everybody. I'm gonna predict that. What I say for this? I think I like barely lean toward Pierce for this. Obviously, I'm taking me over Carter. I'll beat that chump any day of the week. JJ McCarthy's a kind of scary start, especially with Herbert on the bench, and of course I sat 20-point Jordan Love, but oh well. May have over adjusted a little bit there, but I'll take me. I'll take I think I said Dan Slam. Yeah, I'll take you. Depends on Danny Dimes, but I'll take Ivan. I will take Pierce, I said. I will take Anna. I will take Guiley just by a small edge. And I will take... I don't think I went over this one. Actually starting to like the play of ETN. It is week 2. Maybe he sucks still. But last week proved me wrong, and I look a little bit silly now. But, man. If Garrett Wilson has the week he did last week, sheesh. It's going to be hard to beat Evans' team. Burrow needs to do better, and Pickens needs to do better for Carson. I'm going to take Evans' team. I think Bijan and Jackson Smith and Jigba are going to really carry him this week. All right, I'm wrapping up there. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Sorry for the flickering camera. Hopefully it's not too annoying. I would like to do this weekly. Just depends on my motivation and the time that I have. But I did post 3 videos earlier before this one, so if you're interested in those ones, check them out. And good luck in week 2. Mish out.